Welcome to week 5 of Seasonal Anime Survivor. I'm here with just JNES this week. Friggin' had to do
Yep.
something. And we're going to discuss episodes 5 of the 8 shows left. Last week we voted off Godzilla SP. And we're going to just go straight into the shows. If you only have watched or watching some of these shows, there'll be timestamps so you can hear the episode 5 discussion of whatever show you're watching if you're not interested in all of them. And yeah, that's it. So we'll start off with a discussion of 86. This episode we had like sort of a knowledge bomb about um like the 86 having more knowledge about what's actually going on because of Shion's like almost like a magical ability, or maybe he's like electronically revived or something where he can communicate with these spider AI things that have
I
basically
think it's
taken over
more, I
human
think,
intelligence when they're about to die somehow. That it's
yeah. And the funny thing is that we thought before, oh, the A6 are just gonna battle a army of drones, just drones. But it turns out there are some that has special intelligence and that might actually serve as more entertaining antagonists in the future.
yeah, they are still drones, but it's somehow like they electronically capture dead people right when they're dying brains and then use that somehow. I think that's the premise. It's a little sci-fi confusing. It's acceptable, but it's definitely like kind of confusing. Um,
Yeah, we gotta have our protagonist have a super special power to make him seem more based than his contemporaries.
well,
Because
I
he's
mean,
a
given his
protagonist
like
for a
level
reason.
of ability, it does explain things, and also I like it as just a large scale plot point that given a 12 episode anime, I don't think we'll ever get into this, but like
Well, it
it's
actually has a second season
oh, it
coming
already
up.
does.
Yeah, so it's more like it's split up for production's sake.
Okay, okay. Because like clearly what's really interesting is it's like it seems like I don't even remember the name of the country, but the country people don't know that there actually is potential that they're in more danger than they realize. And it seems like I don't know if it's just is his name Sean? I forgot his name. Sean, like the Undertaker guy. Um, he seems to be the only one aware, or maybe there are other people aware that wait, this is actually more dire than they think. They're actually losing, and it's very likely they'll lose as and like they're hiding their numbers outside of the range that the country is or the empire's country, I forget what it is checking.
Yeah, they
So
actually have intelligence,
yeah,
and they're playing a huge assault.
and so this is like really emphasizes the dynamic that's like, wait, the people commanding them have less information than the people in the field. Or I don't know if that's true or if it's only him, if it's only
Yeah,
Undertaker that actually knows this. In which case,
I
I mean, I guess it makes sense that he wouldn't share it to all of them, but it also doesn't make sense because even just for self-preservation reasons, you would probably want to share, hey, the things are worse than you think. There's a lot more of them than we think.
I think it's just because he feels like no one on the high ranks will believe him and just
Mm.
chastise him because he's an 86.
Yeah, that's actually very likely. No one would believe him. That's true. Now there's actually a chance here because we have
Yeah, because Lena actually likes him
yeah. So it's
because he's a
actually
human being.
this story is actually pretty good. Like the more I think, like the more elements we get, um, it's it like flatlined for an episode. It was kind of just we got to see okay, there's these people are human and somebody died, right? But now you add this element of oh wait, there's more than we thought about the enemy, and now you have the dynamic of if one of these 86 has extra intel and they actually can't communicate it with the higher ups, and then wait a minute, they're actually not living pretty. There actually is a serious threat to this country that has sort of gotten used to living like war is nothing, and what if the war actually ends up becoming dire, and then all of the people living like a happy life have to make their own sacrifices. So it's a good development direction if it grows from here. So I don't know. It's
Yeah, it is becoming more interesting. How about that Lena development this episode? She's got what was coming to her. Just wow, she got too close to the fire and she got burned.
I actually don't even remember what you're talking about.
Well, like in like how she's the captain of the unit and she gives instructions to them and she
Oh
sees
yeah,
that
yeah.
on
She got the direct
computer
effects
and
of
she's
hearing
energized with Shion's brain too much and she start getting
hearing
some kind
the
of like
hearing the
images
robot
hearing
dead ghost
of
voices of the spiders that he always hears.
and she got into a complete meltdown. And didn't we call this like weeks ago? That she could go under the same thing.
Well,
So,
yeah, that was like the initial foreshadowing of what happened to the other ones, is they probably synced to him when they encountered an enemy legion that had these ghosts. I think they called them ghosts. I don't know, like the spiders that have the human soul or brain, and
yeah,
so
those
it
spy
basically
drones
just
live
repeats like
among the
whatever
other
their last
drones.
thoughts were on repeat. So you heard the voice of whatever her name was that died a few episodes ago. You got to hear her voice that was, and it seems like they clone it. They don't just use it once; it's like replicated. So,
Yep, over and over again.
so
Well, I don't think Lena's gonna be completely incapacitated. I'm sure
no,
she's
she'll be
gonna
fine. I
find the
mean,
will
there'll be
inside her to get
some
through
way to
it.
deal with it. It's just
Yeah, because she's like a complete idealist. So if if she would, she definitely her beliefs will power her on through. Because if she's willing to stand up for the ASICs in the classroom with people watching her, I'm sure she will be able to conquer the memories that are constantly insulting her. Because she's that kind of person.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, she's definitely got really good character in general. I- yeah, I'm just looking forward to the pan out here because we got a new knowledge bomb that indicates this going in a cool direction. But that's all I have to say for this. You know, have any other comments, or you want to move into the next show?
No, it's just picking up a little, so I'm interested to see what's happening next episode.
Okay, moving into Fumetsu no Anata to Your Eternity. Uh, this one we got a new form. We got new form.
Yeah, he's got the bear phone.
No, 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 the little girl
That's
form. That's the real.
wait,
No, March
the
form.
little girl phone?
Yeah, at the very end, he got the March. He can transform into March now.
Oh, I didn't actually think about that. Yeah, he could actually transform into March.
No, it showed it. Didn't it show it? I'm pretty sure. Like at the end, it like.
No, maybe I'm not paying it. Maybe I didn't pay
Oh.
attention at the end.
Yeah, but of course, like we got the revealing of the bear form, and then also tragic
It
sad
was
happens
so
again. So we now have
cool.
another episode where we get a sort of a sad effect similar to the first episode.
Yeah,
Um,
this ending was the. It's definitely the ending of an arc we got.
and the bear smacked Hayase. She got this the slap
And
in the
she
face.
got the two coolest scars I've ever seen. It looks so fucking cool. I hope that she's around long term,
Yeah, I
just trying
wonder.
to track down.
Because
If
if
Bushi, yeah,
not, we're
trying to
just not
track
going to
down
have any
Bushi.
long-term antagonists, and we could go back into full migration mode, or is it still going to be her as a long-term antagonist? I wonder.
Yeah, she definitely has the look of an obsessed person, so she definitely gonna like abandon all her social bonds and
So
just
she could be
go and
like the
track down
Team
Bushi for a
Rocket
sense of.
of the show,
Oh yeah, that's actually cool. Yeah, she actually could be the Team Rocket of the show.
or whatever. What's the? There's a team. Who was the Team Rocket in like Shield Hero? They were funny. That was the same. It was like
I never watched Shield Hero.
oh, there was like two goons that always chased them, and it was like you knew they would never win. I wonder if Hayase will just be like end up being a joke character where it's like she's just always
Yeah,
there.
more like a little serious version of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
joke
definitely more
character.
serious than Team Rocket, but
Yeah, I don't expect to see her making any quip jokes.
not jokes. It's just the idea of some something that's framed as an antagonist, but that you as the viewer know will never win. So as the viewer, you never like wonder. You are always like, well, yeah, everything will be fine, and you're just sort of wondering what silly thing they do each time. That would be disappointing,
Yeah.
honestly, if it's that lighthearted. But
March didn't live on for so long, but I'm really happy that she developed as a character in this episode before her untimely death, because when Parana tried to fool March by saying, "Oh, just go on ahead, there's nothing to see," when she was trying to split up the carcass of the dead bear, March wasn't taking any shit. She knew what was going on.
Yeah.
She wasn't so easily distracted. I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, it's sad because she just doesn't seem as happy as before.
Yeah,
In a
what's
way.
interesting is where do we go from here? Because I mean, honestly, Perona's not that interesting to me. Like, like
Well, I don't think we're gonna see Piranha anytime soon.
so
She's
it's
just gonna
just
stay at the village.
Fushi just
I
gonna
think we're
move
gonna
on
see
by
more
himself
youth.
and meet other
Yeah, we're gonna
things.
see. Wasn't he with the older woman? The one that just tagged along?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think in the later episodes we're gonna meet some new characters that we saw shortly in the OP.
yeah. I forget.
That's
I
my
wasn't
guess.
paying. I haven't paid much attention to this OP to remember any faces.
Yeah, we just saw some character designs we haven't seen before.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't. For some reason, like I don't have a lot to say this episode, even though like I guess it was just like a tying of the loop. We got the resolve of the conflict, and we lose a character,
And
and we this
and
is like a
yep,
moving on
and
point.
people are crying. People are
Yeah,
crying. March is dead. If you ever want to make some people cry, just have that kid character that you attach to just die.
yeah.
Because, a lot of kids die in the world, especially from war. So it's just snap back to reality.
For more, I
And
think that probably like statistically. I mean, I don't know the data, but I think that'd be a very very low percentage. I think it'd mostly be like
yeah,
malnutrition
like often like
or
kids would definitely die in
childbirth
tribal
in
conflicts.
countries without good child care. Uh, but
Yeah, I
well,
think
that's
back
just okay.
then
That's
tribes
despite the
would.
point. We're not talking about real life statistics, but I think it would.
Well,
Children
we
dying
definitely
from
don't have
war is
statistics of
probably
what's
like the
going on
very
back
low
then.
percentage. Like,
I don't know about that. The ancient world was definitely a nightmare back then.
oh yeah, maybe in this sort of world, I don't actually know, but I would even suspect in this type of world it would be like natural reasons like death at childbirth and or early because I always heard like
Yeah,
children getting to age like 5 was like super difficult like way back
yeah,
when.
because of disease.
Yeah, or early prenatal. I don't know if it's prenatal because I don't know these terms, but I think it was. I just know a lot of babies died before they got to be children, like in the
Mm.
old times. Anyway, we can stop talking
Yeah.
about that's not
So
relevant.
yeah, we can move on now.
uh, on the Hige o Soru, そして女子高生を Hirou, which is I shaved my beard, picked up or brought home a high school girl. Either way, doesn't matter. Uh, and this one we had the talk between Goto and Sayu, and it's kind of interesting, but I don't even remember what happened. Fuck.
Can't believe I actually forgot about that. That happened this episode. We did go back to Yoshida's apartment and saw Sayu there.
Yeah, they talks, and
Hmm.
but the problem is I don't remember what Goto said to her.
I don't remember too, because I only remember what happened in the second half of the episode where they introduced that bastard in one of the guys that Sayu stayed with
Yeah,
for a
so
time.
he was at her work.
Yeah, that was the more memorable part. Yeah, he was a new worker
Mm-hmm.
at the convenience store, and he reminded Sayu of what she used to be, what she had to accept in order to have shelter, and she reminded of her emotionless self that she just goes back into. And it's just really scummy that guy is always pressuring Sayu to, and he's a liar too.
Are you an episode ahead of
No, I'm
it's episode 5?
wait, no way. Hold on, let me check Mal. I'm gonna take an L if I accidentally
Because
watch an episode on
because all
Monday.
I saw is this guy. They showed this guy at the end of the episode, but he didn't say anything yet. So you might just be an episode ahead, and
Well,
because I haven't heard
actually
this guy
that's
say
actually a
anything.
possibility. Hmm. Yeah, that's anyway. That's leaving that aside. Is there anything else besides
Well,
what happened in this episode with
he talked
direction
to
wise?
Mishima. That he left like the store to go to the grocery store, and Mishima was like stalking him or something. Basically, they end up having a conversation, and he explains that Goto is at home, and
Ah, okay.
well, the problem is I don't remember what was discussed. Oh my gosh, this is bad.
No, that's okay. I mean, if you can't remember anything, then that means it's not important, right?
Not necessarily because I remember like liking like I can look. I rated this show. Actually, I rated it pretty low, so maybe nothing happened this week. It's yeah. So I guess
Hmm.
nothing happened that I remember was worth noting, other than the guy shows up at the end, and uh, Goto is like going to be like an older mentor, I guess, for an older influence to Sayu potentially, and yeah, that's it. We
Oh,
could.
okay. So you basically like the day conversation resolved. Hey, I maybe like Yoshida, but I don't intend to push you out anytime soon. Was it like that?
I forget. Wow, how do I forget this
Yeah,
much?
because Sayu is concerned that if Yoshida ever dates a woman, then Yoshida will force Sayu to live somewhere else because the woman will just end up being jealous of Sayu because Sayu is already living with Yoshida.
Yeah, although that is kind of given the age difference. Well, it also makes sense. It's like this does have to end soon. Like this isn't this isn't
Mm,
ever going to last
yeah, this
forever.
can't go on forever.
Yeah, like okay, since I don't remember anything, and you're an episode ahead randomly, let's just move on. Oops. Okay, we can talk about in this week of Nagatoro we had the haircut and the shaved ice bit. Uh, I liked
Oh yeah,
the
and Nagato was adding contact information to Senpai so they can call each other during summer break.
mm, that too.
That's important. That's important development.
I liked that. I mean, I just like how he like blocked the dudes from staring at her at the line. That was cute.
Yeah, because Senpai is growing more confident in
Yeah,
himself.
yeah. So
And
we actually do get him like becoming more stand up, and then like I mean, they're really basically in a relationship already. The way they're doing things at this point, it feels
they
like
just don't know it yet.
like they're like looking out for each other when she starts like he's willing to wait in the line with her, but when she gets too hot he knows when it's too much and she needs to actually get something and takes care of her, and she's like willing to help him get a haircut and is nice about that. So I mean at this point we're like full-blown relationship with just it's not called that basically, I feel like.
Yeah, and Nagato just teasing Senpai a lot.
I mean she's
This
not
episode
even
is weird.
teasing him as much anymore, like they're
Yeah,
almost
this
just like
the show is becoming more sweeter and sweeter with each
yeah, my
episode.
comments like are adorable, sweet, cute. That's my notes for this episode. It's literally just a nice aw. It's just a pleasant, charming little thing they've got going that's just pleasing and cute to watch. I don't know.
For people who want more shows about like relationships,
Did you cut off? If you're
don't have to wait for 50 episodes for a couple to get together, and then the show's ending, and you have to write fanfics about them.
yeah, this is more of a they get right into it. It's like yeah, this show's good. Definitely really like this show. It's like
Yeah,
weird. There's not
this
much
is
to say,
definitely
but it's really good. It's
yeah, it's nice for an anime that has a lot of people watching. I think this is good would be a bright light for them this season,
yeah.
having something to look forward to every week.
Honestly, all of the shows left. Well, I mean, for the most part, I like. I'm liking. But yeah, Nagatoro is definitely one of the standouts for me. It's one of my favorite though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this definitely is the sweetest show this season.
Oh, on that access, yeah, certainly, absolutely. Where like with Hige or Hige Hirou, you've got like more of an intriguing dynamic, but it's not so much sweet as it's just like an interesting situation. Where this is just pure, aw. It's just like you like pure sweet niceness. Yeah,
That's all the thoughts I have for this week.
yeah. I don't have anything else either. And we've got the Shadows House as the next show. We got the start of the
Debut arc. And I
yeah.
like how it didn't like the show didn't drag on, that we got to the interesting part of the story.
I think it's so cool that like the contrast is they set up Lou to look like the worst doll, but actually those are what the good things. Those are all good characteristics for a doll, and she's actually the best doll. And I thought that was so cool. They set it up to make her
Yeah.
look useless, but actually as a doll you're supposed to be useless. You're supposed to be just a doll and not think and not do anything. And so therefore she's actually the best doll, and that's so cool to see the difference of how we've seen her operating up to this point. And then once you go into this debut thing, she actually outperforms everybody where it matters, so to speak. And I love that
Yeah.
staging, that setting up.
Your thoughts just made me realize that Lou's Shadow Master is Louis. How do you pronounce it in French? I don't
I don't know. It was like Luis.
remember.
They just said Luis, I believe.
Louis. Okay, Louis. And that's pretty cool because Louis is French. So
No,
I don't know if what?
all of their names are supposed to be like their matching doll, and Emilico is an exception, so that's like a negative point for her, I think.
Yeah. Not to mention that Emilico is more curious, so that's a debuff for her as well, because those aren't supposed to think and ask questions.
Yep.
And how do you like Edward's design? I like him.
Is Edward the blonde or the dark haired?
Oh no, Edward's the super special
Oh,
doll
oh, this
that
the
was
good.
looking over the
Yeah, he's
debut.
okay. I don't know. I don't. I'm not
Yeah,
like.
I like his jacket design.
I'm like. I don't dislike it, but it's not like something I noticed or thought about.
Yeah, I just thought he's a cool judge. Like, he's from the grandfather wing of the mansion, so
Yeah.
he's like an interesting hint of what's happening over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about? Oh, yeah, it's cool to see that Kate is growing in her suit powers, that she can control the suit around Emilico's legs, and it's helping her to dance.
Yeah, and it's I wonder why she's the only one with that, or are there other people?
That's actually good things. In fact, do shadow people even have other powers besides controlling suits? I
Well,
wonder
so
if
far we only know that she's the only one, and it was mentioned as a special thing. And also, like Kate said, she needs to do something. So I feel like there's some deep thing we don't know about her that's like special.
yeah, that is cool to see. Just wondering,
Yeah, it's just
what
it's
else
really.
do?
I just think it's really funny. Like it was just really excellent. Like the setup. I already said this, but Lou's setup, and then the turning of tables when you actually realize like to be a good doll, you would not to spray the squirt bottle like in that previous episode when there was like the monster in the corner. She just like sprayed it and didn't like try to move closer or anything because she doesn't think. But that's a good thing when you're a doll, and I love it. I loved the setup. It was just the contrast was so cool that because I wouldn't have I didn't expect
I
that.
didn't even realize it this episode. That's a pretty cool thing you picked up on it.
Well, yeah, they
I
set
think,
up like Lou to look like a not good doll, and then in this episode you learn what really matters, and she's the best, and that was cool. I don't know.
yeah, and I liked seeing the dances too. That's actually the show makes an interest. I don't know. I feel like you could pick up like a self-zest hint from it, because Kate said to Emilico that I wish you paid more attention to me, and that's like a shit bait line.
Oh,
I
for
just think that it's
Emilico,
funny
I don't know. I
because
didn't.
I never really get the appeal for self-zest. But if you think about it, the dolls are supposed to be the faces for the shadows.
I don't
So
know
it's
if like
kinda
you might be reading more
technically
into that than
self-zest,
because
but
I didn't notice this, and so I don't know if it's like like a subbing
I just thought
thing,
it was funny. I
or
don't
like
take it all that seriously. I
so it
just
might not actually
thought
be.
it was
I
just
mean, it could
very
easily
funny
be
from that
someone
kind of
subbed
angle.
it to make it look like a ship bait. I don't know.
Hmm. I wonder what kind of subs you watch then,
I'm watching no
because
sub.
oh, you're a genius then. Hmm.
That like I don't know.
I
So stuff like that. Sometimes there is stuff that like they'll sub a certain way to suggest something that may or may not be suggested in the original. So I don't know. That's why that's why I say that. I don't know though.
That's a good point. You know what the interesting thing at the end is that Edward took down, like, you know, the shelf that Edward has of the little dolls of the Shadow Masters, and it's supposed to be like ranking them. And he took Patrick's doll down a shelf when he was observing the dance. I think it's because Ricky is not supposed to outshine his
Yeah, yeah,
shadow.
yeah. He was leading. The doll shouldn't lead the shadow. That was the issue with that.
Yeah, because I think Ricky's just like he's just I
Ricky's
don't
actually
know.
carrying his master more than he needs to. So he's like,
Yeah, oh, I know the word. I think Ricky's just too charismatic,
well, yeah. He's
like too
he's not
smart
supposed
and
to
too
be
assured.
visible. He's not supposed to draw attention to himself, which he does. And
Yeah, I think that's a good flaw of a doll.
yeah, and that was like really cool too because we were like before this episode, they had you going in thinking Ricky would be the number one doll, and that maybe like Sean would maybe be the second or Emilico, and then what's her name, Ram would be the worst, but it's actually not that at all. It's actually Lou is the best doll, and then Ricky's
Yeah,
maybe like the third best, and then Sean's like the like, and then Emilico's the worst because she thinks too much. Yeah, it
yeah,
was a
and they
good. I thought they
yeah,
did
it's
a
a
very
good
good job of
episode.
setting up expectations and then denying them and it being something else.
And then it's like satisfying development between Kate and Emilko that Kate has accepted Emilko for who she is and it's no longer getting as stressed about it, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
we can
I
move on
am
to the next show. Unless you have something else. Nope. Okay, we're gonna move on to SSSS.Dynazenon. I have one note for this show, and it's woo water park, yay! Yeah, I mean that's what
yeah,
happened this episode is a water park.
yeah, as well as confirmation that Yogi and Yume's relationship might be canon by the end of the show, possibly.
Yeah,
I don't think they might try to get a sequel season. I think they're gonna
that's not the
confirm it
real. The
at the
really
end.
important thing is there was a water park, and we're having a party, and it's water park.
I maybe my brain's just not suited to these kinds of shows. I just take more no interest in the relationships rather than the mech fights.
Well, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just like, woo, water slide, woo, fight. Like the point is, like this is not a think show. This is an emotion. This is a feel show where you're just like la 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 la, water park, woohoo, water park, and then they're like, oh, big robot. It doesn't matter, but we're gonna fight. Big
Yeah,
robot, fight, fight.
and
Like,
the Kaiju genius is just chilling out in the water park as well. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
everyone's just chilling. Like everyone's big chilling. It's I don't know. There's like this isn't a show for analysis. This is just like a show where nothing happens and you just enjoy it. I don't know. Just like
You just enjoy it for the animation
not even
and
the
just for the
animation, just the
concept of
silliness, the fun. It's like silly high school drama mixed with big robots, and you have, and here we've got our
yeah. And I
basically our
just
beach
take notice of
episode or
the high
whatever.
school drama.
It's I don't know.
I,
It was fun,
different
entertaining, but I don't have
expectations.
anything to say because this show is the same every week. It's just a big robot fight and some silly stuff going on with high schoolers. I don't know. It's
Yeah. We can just move on then,
yeah,
couldn't
we
we?
can move on. There's nothing to say here, nothing to be said other than water park. Uh, okay, we have Tokyo Revengers, the big gang
Mm.
meeting, basically.
Yeah. Pretty cool seeing Ryuji taking the focus this episode. We get to see what he contributes to the group, being the heart of it all and holding Manjiro accountable. because without Ryuji, Madro just becomes more heartless.
Wait,
Yeah. No, wait.
Dorakin
That's the
is
point.
I don't is so it's Miki or Mikey and Dorakin. Which one's which? Because you're using like the names that I don't use.
Oh,
The
okay. I think we need to agree on which to use the names
because
for
I call
characters.
like the
Last
blonde
names are
guy
first names.
Mikey, and then the tall dude with the tattoos is Dorakin. But
Oh, yeah, I was referring to Dora.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, just him getting more
Cause he's
focused
the
this
guy with he's like
episode.
the heart that like keeps Mikey from
Yeah.
going crazy, and like
More like, Dora can just reminding Mikey to, like, actually care for other people and not be so insensitive.
yeah, he's the heart kind. That's what he said. And like once he died, Mikey's heart died, and that was like
Yeah, yeah.
what
Mikey has
changed the
no one to hold
future.
him accountable. Yeah, so what I think is a cool, interesting mechanic in the show is that whenever Takemichi goes back to the future, his old self takes over, and we saw at the beginning of the episode that apparently his old self was about to have sex with one of the which girl was it? Was she like a gang member or just someone who happens to know the gang?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it's just a girl that's actually interested in getting Dorikin to notice her. And I like that dynamic because Takemichi is actually has to be more aware of what he's doing. It just gives him whiplash and it causes conflict with him and his girlfriend,
And it's what's
which is
interesting is
pretty
like
cool to
when he
observe.
leaves, the himself that's in the past is different. That's also interesting.
Yeah,
Like he can't
that's
like
pretty
so he
cool. Yeah,
can't
his
like
old
cover
self
his
is a douche
tracks when
and
he's not in the
careless.
past. He has no
Yeah,
idea what he'll do.
yeah, yeah, and I think that just shakes things up a bit, which is nice to see because it prevents the show from becoming more static and routine. Because it's not going to be easy sailing just to change the past and then go back to the future.
Yeah, because every time he goes back
It's
to the
gonna,
future, he'll have to make up like whatever his self did while he was not in the past. He'll have to like
yeah,
deal
and
with
you
whatever
have
it
to
was.
like rest and then study the impacts and then just do more strategizing with the cop.
Yeah. So this is like
Yeah,
definitely seems like a long runner. Like this is not going to be over in
yeah,
12 episodes.
yeah, it doesn't even have like an episode count for 24, 25. I think this could be like
Yeah,
a
this could be
50 to
like a
75 episode
50 or
show.
something. Who knows how long.
Yeah, I think the producers are tending to adapt the whole series because I just read on like Anime News Network that the people who prints the manga volumes had to print more because people are getting more interested in the manga and they're gonna have to print some more volumes to keep up with the
Yeah, so
demand.
it's 19 volumes. So that's if this is a long burner, it'll be. I actually don't know exactly how that translates to how many seasons or episodes anime that
I
is, but
think it needs to be 36 to 39 episodes.
okay, so yeah, so it's actually not that, but it's still pretty long. It's more than a two-parter or a two-core.
Mm. But it is holding its own against. Well, I don't know, like how you and Figgins interest in the show is game because you just think it's like an okay show, and I think it's above average. Especially, that 10 years ago, Steins Gate came out, and it happens to be like a time travel show. That's pretty interesting. That Tokyo Revengers has its own time
I
mechanic
mean,
show. I think that's
time
what's
travel
giving
is
the show
pretty
interesting for
common
me.
in a lot of shows at this point. I
Well, I
mean,
just think it's funny. It's just like that there's a 10-year difference between Steins Gate and Tokyo Revengers.
yeah, I mean, but like time travel is just so common that I don't even like. It's like saying something's an isekai or something. It's just not.
I mean,
There's
I
so
don't
much of
see
it that
time
it's like
travel
not.
much as
It doesn't tell much
isekai.
about the show, right? It just shows like, oh, this is one mechanic that this show has. Although I do like the again, I love the fact that he does. There is a part of himself in the past that he cannot control whenever he returns, which is just cool to me.
Yeah,
That's the
it
main.
makes it's a challenging the
And I
protagonist
guess we'll
to
have an
think on his
important
feet.
next episode where we see like what happens with this fight.
Yeah, That's gonna be awesome to see because he's trying to protect Dolikin.
Yeah, because otherwise he'll die, and then Mikey goes off the rails and does a bunch of bad stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can move on to the next show, and that is Vivy. We had AI robot waifu here, and we got
Yeah, like traveling, like no, it's not back in time. It's more like
eh,
she came across a mechanical island. Oh, and if anything, this episode we actually got the first marriage case of an AI marrying a
yeah, that's
human.
why I'm saying
So we
like
got
AI
far
waifu.
into the we got this far in the timeline that humans and AI can love each other and they can sign it legally. I don't
Yep,
know if I should find this funny or adorable.
I loved what's his is it Matsumoto? I forget his name. The bear.
Yeah, Matsumoto,
Yeah, I
the
loved
AI that's
his
partnered on with Vivy.
I loved his reaction when he saw the girl. He's like, "Oh, so it's we're at that point now. We've reached this point." When he first saw Grace, the AI wife, his
Yeah.
comment was funny. His he was like, "Oh, we've
Uh,
gotten to this point."
if you all live long enough, you could get your own robot waifus and you don't have to spend any time trying to get any real girls.
So what was interesting here is like we're really getting into like the like emotion and the feelings of the AIs that were like on that island. How they were like trying to do a good job, and they sang Vivi's song, and they like I feel like here we're really getting into like the feelings of like even like these, and I think they intentionally chose non-humanoid look AIs to explore this even more, is like to explore the non-humanoid AIs having more feelings, which is like more significant than showing the feelings in the humanoid looking AIs, because it's like more visibly different than us, but also they are the same, I guess. I think that was like sort of.
Ah, I didn't catch the implications of that machine design because Vivi was still taken back. She had to move to the next room so that she doesn't end up putting on a scene in front of the other AIs.
Hmm. Well,
And
I
I
don't know
find
if
that
if this was intentionality, but I feel like it might have been. Where it's like I feel at this point we're looking more and more into like the humanness of AIs, and in this episode we have specifically the factory AIs like showing emotion essentially, or wanting to understand humans, and I feel like that's a significant thing is like once you start empathizing with the non-humanoid looking ones, it's like even deeper at that point than just the humanoid alone looking ones. Uh,
right.
yeah, so I think that's cool, and this is the first entirely AI ran island, and
Yeah, that has no human assistance at all. It's just all AI at this point.
but they need to stop it because if it operates it on its own, it becomes a threat to humanity essentially. Hmm.
Right. So I forgot what the end of the episode. So is that like oh Miyak's gonna think it's gonna resolve next episode?
I'm not sure. I the guys like started to attack it, and then the AIs like defended themselves, like defended the factory, and then but Vivy saved the one dude. Um,
Oh yeah, the dude that we saw episodes ago.
yeah,
Yeah. We're just seeing what he looks like at this point in time.
yeah. So I'm not really sure where this is gonna go. Because
Yeah, I
like,
don't know like how many incidents are we just gonna have.
well, even this specific incident, I'm not sure like how it's going to resolve. Like, are they still gonna just shut down the facility, or is it gonna pan out differently?
Right. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. I don't know if this is just gonna be the last two Potter arc or they're gonna have a couple more and then they're gonna
Yeah, I
have
think this
a
will probably resolve
finale.
next episode. But I'm actually not sure how it will resolve. I don't even know what they're going to do from here. Because, like, I think they were, man, I mean, I just remember they ran away from, like, they were in the water in, like, a boat or something. Geez. So yeah, we'll find out
Yeah,
what happened because I actually don't remember what happened at the very end. I just remember
I'm
though.
with you on that.
Yep. Okay, we can go into the voting section now. Okay, and we've done the voting, and SSSS.Dynazenon by far is last place. Last place
Yep,
tied.
we got it
Both voted
right
for it last
second
place.
time.
Unfortunate, the pool party was fun, but it was just less interesting than the other shows. And that's
I'll
it for.
I'll just I'll binge it at the end because it is
Yeah,
a fun show,
I'll
and I
keep
do
watching
need
this.
to
It's
watch more of
entertaining.
episode.
I'm gonna keep watching the episodes every week. It's kind of fun,
Yeah,
but it's
I'm not
definitely
gonna
less
watch it
interesting than the
every
other
week.
shows.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it every week, but I'm definitely gonna binge it at the end of the season. Because I
It's
want to see
actually
what
the type of
happens at
show
the
that I
end.
would prefer to watch seasonal because it's not the kind of show I want to watch 6 episodes in a row. It's the kind of show I want to watch like one episode and be like, "Hey, that was funny," and then not watch it again for a week. But anyway,
I
that's it.
suppose we all have our differences.
Yep, and that's it for week 5 of seasonal anime Survivor.
Yep. See you all next week.